So, Dad, what'd you think of the signings of the free agents? And, of course, I have to ask you about the Max's trade. What do you think of that trade?
He goes to Columbus. He'll be the number one guy. He'll be the most popular guy. Remember, he did the very first exhibition game. Why the Montreal fans liked him, as I think he hit the guy from Florida.
Ekblad.
Ekblad cut his nose and blood all over the place, and he was okay by then. But he did pretty good. I don't think he was. What happened in Montreal? He wasn't. I don't know. He seemed to be unhappy at the thing. He seemed to be.
I just think it's such a pressure cooker in Montreal, right?
Yeah.
You get a couple. You're not. They expected big things from him, and he kind of got off to a bad start, and the fans get on him, and they and you could tell though he was in the playoffs, like he wasn't even playing on the power play.
No, and here's a guy that should be on the power play because he can put the puck in the net. And
so you think he'll get along with my favorite coach in the NHL?
Why is he your favorite?
Well, because we all know
John Tortorella.
Yes. Well, other than that he's good looking, I would say that he owns a foundation that rescues dogs, and his specialty, of course, is pit bulls. So he was.
Well, he has a son, doesn't he?
He has
the SEALs?
a son overseas.
Son was a Marine.
Yep. But of course, that's why, of course, he's close to my heart.
I have to tell you a story. This was when Brian Burke was the general manager of Toronto. That I was asked.
Oh, do you mean Berkey?
No, yeah, Berkey.
You mean Berkey?
I don't understand guys calling him Berkey. I would never call a guy a nickname unless the guy told me to.
Like on the draft.
Anyhow, Brian Burke was the GM for Toronto, and I got asked would I introduce the troops that just back from Afghanistan. I think there was 300 of them there. So naturally, I said, yeah. So I go out and here they're great heroes and everything like that. And I said, come on, stand up and everybody give them a cheer. Well, everybody give them a standing ovation. And I look down and there's John Tortorella. You say that it was Columbus.
Columbus,
eh?
Yeah.
I thought it was Rangers, but anyhow, it doesn't matter. He's got his whole team up, and they're giving a standing ovation. They're clapping, they're banging. And I look over at the Toronto Maple Leafs, and Ron Wilson is the coach, and he's not paying any attention. He doesn't like me. Reason it was because he didn't like me. Can you imagine not liking me?
Well, you called him Little Napoleon.
Is that what I call him?
Yeah. So I think that started it off.
So anyhow, he did not like
me.
You
antagonize. That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, he didn't like me. So, and his players were picking their nose, and here's John Tortorella, and I look at the Leafs, and you know what? I have to tell. I'm confessing here on my show because nobody can hurt me anymore. They can't fire me anymore. Can't fire me off this, can you, Tim? Anyhow, you know who showed me that they weren't clapping was Ron McLean. And I didn't even know. I wouldn't look at them. So I'm looking at the troops. So I got on and I just ripped Wilson to death on that. That's when it started, the whole thing. And then Brian Burke, GM, stuck up for his coach, I guess. And that's when he disliked me. Well, we're friends now. Brian Burke and I are friends. But anyhow.
So Ron got you in trouble.
I could tell you a lot of things. I didn't notice. He says that.
In trouble or set you up?
No, I did get me in trouble. And he knew I was mad.
Yeah.
And good coach's corner anyhow.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It had a lot of reaction.
God, I tell you now, things I used to do. And you know what gets me? The thing I got fired for is like unbelievable. And I should have been, if they were going to fire me for that, God, the things I said before.
Maybe it just built up.
Hey?
Maybe it just built up over the years.
No, I don't know. I thought it was doing. Anyhow, the free agency. Now, how do we?
We're just talking about free agency. Who do you think did the best? What team?
I can't believe Travis Green, the coach of Vancouver Canucks, should get on his knees. And Jim Benning, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is a GM.
GM.
To think that he would pick up Holtby. He lost Markstrom. Markstrom went to Calgary. That was a great pickup for. That's all he needed in Calgary. Look out for Calgary this year because they've got a good goaltender. He really is a dandy. And I thought, the Demko for Vancouver. well, he's a rising star. He had the one good year. So it goes out, and Jim Benning gets Holtby from Washington. Holy smokes. And pays him big dough as a backup. I guess he's looking forward to in Seattle, the expansion. But two good goalies like that, you could take a dart board and pick which one. Demko is coming. He's going to be a dandy. Well, he had the one good year. And then...
So do you think they have the best goaltending tandem? And
there's no doubt in my mind the two best goaltenders playing on any club is Vancouver. And Benning played the game. He knows if you don't have... If you have your number one goaltender, plays 50 games. Now, the question is, who's going to be number one? Now, the one guy, if you don't mind me saying, the one guy won the Stanley Cup, great goaltender, and the other guy's a rising guy. He should learn from Holtby, and I think that they'll lose one when the expansion comes. But can you imagine Travis Green? I mean, you'd have to really wonder. And the only guy I know that had two great goaltenders was me. So anyhow, Travis Green's got two beauties there. He's going to have to be a little careful. Don't tick one off. And I have Demko, and he's a young guy coming up. He should learn from Holtby. So he's the number one guy. That's what I would take like that. And the free agency, it's you can see they're not.
Yeah, there's only a few guys signed for big dough. Everybody else was just a year.
Yeah, and Krug, Peter Angelo should be signed pretty soon, but St. Louis saw that they weren't going to sign Peter Angelo. He wants a $9 million, which is worth it.
So what do you think of the Leafs? They said they got to get tougher.
Well, the Leafs, they got to get tougher. And the Bosigan, they just got him.
Yeah, Bogosian. Yep.
Yeah, and he played for the OHL. He played for Peterborough.
Yeah, won Stanley Cup last year with Tampa.
And Broda, TJ Brody,
yep.
He's from Chatham.
Yeah,
he's from Ontario. And then we have Simmons, who I've always liked. You tell a story. Remember, you used to talk about.
Yeah, we saw him play. He played for the Junior Canadians, and he was, for the one thing I'll say about him, I remember watching him. When I first saw him play, and you and I were watching, he was a horrible skater. He couldn't skate. And by the end of the year, he was pretty good. He really worked on his skating. But I remember you watching him saying, man, I just didn't want to go in the corner with him because he was all elbows and knees and just like a whirling dervish when he went into the corner. And he was kind of big back then too.
Oh, he was big. He was,
but he was gangly, eh? So he was all elbows.
Well, he still is.
All elbows and arms and stuff. And I remember you saying, of all the guys in the GTHL, I don't want to go in the corner with him. So
no, you remind me of Gordy Labassi. I used to play against him, and I don't know why he didn't like me or something. And boy, you go in the corner with him, you'd always get hurt. He'd elbow you, and he was a terrific fighter. Gordy Labassi. When I think of him. And not making the National Hockey League. I think he tried a couple of times. But I think Edmonton pretty good. And Turris, I think Turris has been sort of in a hiatus, as they say. He did pretty good in Ottawa when he was there. He got 2 years. Maybe they'll put somebody out with McDavid. And
You always said, though, Dad, that McDavid is the kind of guy that scores goals by himself.
Yeah.
He's not a guy that needs to be set up.
It'd be nice if he had a winger.
Yeah. I was saying he should have a guy like Donnie Marcotte, though. Just work,
and get 20 goals.
And get 20 goals, but have a guy back checking on him.
Yeah, Donnie Marcotte played for me in Boston. He used to check Lafleur.
He still got 20 goals.
And he still got 20 goals. And Lafleur was, of all the guys I've seen, and I've been in hockey a long time, the guy I like to see the best outside of Bobby Orr, naturally, was Guy Lafleur.
Yeah.
Boy, he used to...
Well, we want to wish him all the best. He's having a little problem right now, and we'll hope he gets out soon. And
you know what I used to see about him when I think about him? When he used to have long hair, and hair be flowing out the back, and he could really motor. And they used to have silk sweaters, and he used to flutter all the time, and he was terrific. And I hope McDavid, they get a swinger for him. And Montreal, Josh Donaldson. Don Thompson. I keep thinking of him. Josh Anderson, 7 years, and big in size, and I think he'll be terrific there. He's a mean guy, and I think they did. I think they did. But of all the teams that I think, and Winnipeg didn't do much. They got a couple of guys, but I didn't. I just couldn't believe Holtby went to Vancouver. I thought that was terrific.
Well, you think then they got 2 good goalies. They got a pretty good defense.
And a good young team.
Yeah.
And a good coach. And so of all the teams, I think that has a good shot at the Stanley Cup. I think it's Vancouver. Tim, we have another sponsor who I'm really interested in. Tell us about him.
Spreads.ca. It's a First Nations-owned online casino and sportsbook, and it's tailored to Canadians, which means when you put your deposit down, it's Canadian dollars because all the other guys are U.S. dollars. So sign up now and enter the promo code GRAPES, and they'll match your deposit 100% up to $500. Terms and conditions apply. So that means if you put $50 in, they'll match the $50. You get 15 spins on their kind of like a Don Cherry slot machine, and if you can win up to $1 million. And with your first sports bet, you get $25. And I didn't do very well. I bet against the Astros. Now they're in the pennant race, and then I bet the Yankees.
I hope they win.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something? Eh?
Yeah, they've got a chip on their shoulder, and you know why? Because they were the team that cheated, and the players took all the
abuse and everything. Well, they're playing Tampa, and they beat Tampa last year, so that'll be a good game.